Hello, guys, gals, and Camptacular pals. This is Ellie and Alexa from Teen Inc. coming to you from the Lego Lounge with the summer's first podcast.
Sup?
Our topic for this podcast is going to be Color War, and what an interesting week. Or should I say 3 weeks?
Yeah, it really was.
Personally, I was a big fan of how the events, which are usually the same by year, were modified to be COVID safe and social distance while still sticking to the Scooby-Doo theme.
Yeah, it was really fun. They did a great job of incorporating all of that while being safe.
Especially with the tradition of going to a bowling alley, I think we did that great with our Scooby-Doo Bowl-O-Rama over by the basketball court.
Yeah, I think all campers had a great time.
I certainly did.
Me too.
And what about the Fireman's Relay, a camp staple? What did you think about it this year?
And I think it was much better, actually, than any other year.
I think so, too, even though an entire bucket of water got poured on my head right after it ended.
Oh, well, that sounds kind of fun.
It was kind of fun.
It's time for interviews with your previous Color War Generals, Adam and Jess.
Today we have 5 questions for Adam and Jess, when they're going to tell us what it's really like to be a Color War General at JCC Abrams camps. Our first question is, what was your favorite part of Color War?
Hi, my name is Jess, and I was the general for the Blue Rams, and my favorite part about Color War was definitely the spirit stations and getting to work with all of the campers in the camp. It was just great being able to have every group and see at the finale, see everybody come together for the songs and cheers.
My name is Adam, General of the White Lions, and my favorite part of Color War was definitely working with my captains. I really like working with all of them. And also, like Jessica said, I really enjoyed meeting the spirit stations and getting to know kids from other units and other groups. That was fun.
Well, all that sounds great. It does seem like a hard job. So what was the hardest part about being a general?
The hardest part, I think, about being a general this year was just having to do the spirit stations in 3 separate groups. So we had to do the robins, the doves, and the hummingbirds. And I was just a little nervous about how it was going to all come together during finale, but I was so proud of my team because it sounded great and everyone knew all the words and cheers. So I was a little nervous and hesitant at first, but it ended up being fantastic.
Like Jess said, it was very difficult and nerve-wracking having each unit separated because we didn't know how they were going to come together during the finale. But also, for me, it was just the pressure of being in charge of basically half the camp. That was hard to deal with, but luckily I had great campers and a great team of counselors to help me through all that.
Creativity has always been a huge part of Color War, but especially this year since we couldn't do as many events because of social distancing. So while being creative, how did you come up with the concept of your shirts and banners?
So for our shirt design, the Blue Rams had a van on the front with 3 Rams in it, and we wanted to incorporate the decades since that's the overall camp theme. So we put a mask, an afro, and we made a robot ram. So that was for our shirts. And then for the banner, we just did a big blue Scooby, and we had the Ram van traveling on a road headed to camp. And we just wanted to do something simple, but something meaningful for both the shirt and the banner.
So for the shirts, for us, we were really intimidated going into it because the other team had a lot of creative people. So we knew they were going to put as much as they could on the shirts. So our main thing was to put as much thought into it. So we put a Scooby and a lion's mane, and then we put a lot of canned words. We each had a character. And then for the banner, we wanted to come up with a story and a comic strip of some sort. So we took the Scooby Island movie and made it JCC Island, and then we incorporated all the characters and put them in each decade, and we just tried to make it something that's awesome.
I think we can all agree that the themes during Color War make it really special and unique to our camp. And especially this year's theme of Scooby-Doo, it was great for everyone. So what Scooby-Doo character do you relate to the most?
I probably relate to Scooby the most because that was the character that I had on the back of my shirt. And then we all got to dress up as characters on the finale, so I wore a dog collar as Scooby. But Scooby's a pretty cool character.
The character I relate most to is Shaggy, because Shaggy is just a very laid-back, goofy person, so I kind of relate to him a lot.
Well, being a general must be fun. It has to be stressful sometimes. So did you enjoy probably the most stressful part of the Apache Relay, cup stacking at the end?
Cup stacking was very, very stressful, but just because there's a lot of pressure on, especially generals going last, we both wanted to be the ones to be the last person to ring the bell. So it was very stressful, but it was nice to have the encouragement of my team like in the audience, the campers cheering me on, so that helped. But it was stressful.
I'm going to be honest, the cup stacking was terrible and probably the most stressed and nervous I've ever been in my life, especially being the last person. So I was cup stacking, and here's a fun story. I actually almost lost it for my whole team, but not on the stacking part, the unstacking. But luckily I finished just in time, and we got the win, so never have to do that again. I'm glad.
That's all of our questions for today. Thank you, Adam and Jess, for coming by and talking about your experience as a general.
Hi, it's Hannah from Teen Inc. And now it's time for a chat with Matt. So Matt, the Color Wars this year was so much fun. How did you come up with the theme of Scooby-Doo?
So originally we had a different theme planned, but we thought we needed to change it back in March. So we knew Scooby-Doo movie was coming out, and we thought it'd be fun for all the kids. So that's how we chose it.
I love how all the games became Scooby-Doo themed. Was it difficult to make them all socially distanced since they were able to keep the groups apart?
It was definitely a challenge because we usually do the same types of games every year. So it's planning Color War is sometimes a little easier with different events, but this year everything had to change. So it was definitely difficult, but I think in the end some of the games were more fun than they usually are. So I think we're going to keep a lot of things the same for next year, even if we don't have to socially distance.
Yeah, I liked a lot of the games this year better than last year because it was like more fun to be able to do things with just our groups. Was there any games in particular that we want to keep the same for next Color Wars?
I think I got a lot of feedback from the campers that they like the Fireman's Relay better this year. So instead of having one long line, we might have a bunch of different lines for maybe each group or each unit. But I think everybody really liked having multiple lines where they could run their bucket over to the bigger bucket. So I really liked Fireman's Relay. I think the campers liked it better this year, and I think we're going to change that for the future.
I liked it better this year too. And same with the color, like how we had the field games separated and like the theme was always with them. I thought that was really cool. Was there any games in particular that you liked?
So field games are my favorite part of Color War. I love just being able to design them so that they fit our Color War theme. I loved the Velma glasses one. I thought it was fun because the campers got to race, and then at the same time they were thinking and using their brains and trying to figure out what the hidden message was. So any type of game where there's strategy involved and they're thinking and running and using all their different skills, I think is the most fun, and that was one where they all got to use those skills.
Thanks for creating such fun games this year, and thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Well, that was a great chat with Matt, but Matt couldn't stay forever, and neither can the summer. It's getting colder, and when it's cold, we go back to school. And I have here with me today Hannah and Sam from Teen Inc., who are going into 9th and 8th grade to share their opinions on the school semester this year.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a freshman. I'm going to Howell in the humanities program, and I'm really excited to enter high school, meet new people, and have some classes in person.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm going into 8th grade at Penwood. I'm in virtual until the end of January, and I'm pretty excited, I guess.
Are you guys doing any extracurriculars, and what does that look like for your areas?
Well, I'm going into 9th grade at RHS in Robbinsville, and I wanted to try out for the swim team and join Model UN and other clubs, but I don't think that's going to happen this year because it's not even safe really to go to classes, so I don't think we have sports or clubs.
I'm doing horseback riding and tumbling. Horseback riding is outside, so that's really fine. But tumbling is inside, so I'm just wearing a mask when I'm not tumbling.
So I dance, and so we've been doing classes all summer, and we wear masks and stay 6 feet apart, and it's really hard to breathe with the mask on, obviously, but it's fun. And I want to join clubs to help people with special needs in my school, but we're not 100% sure if those are happening or not yet, but if they are, then I'm joining those.
Those sound like some fun activities. So, what do you want to do when you're older?
So I want to go to college in New York, possibly Columbia, but that's a stretch a little bit. And I want to be a child psychologist, work in a psych ward, and then be a trauma therapist for kids in the foster care system.
I'm not going to say my whole plan, but I do want to be a civil rights lawyer when I'm older. But I really think it's so inspiring to hear people say what they want to be when they grow up, because everyone when they're little has such amazing dreams, especially asking little kids what they want to be when they grow up, what they want their career to be. It's so amazing to hear them say, oh, I want to change the world. I want to be famous. It's so cool to hear their hopes and dreams.
I want to go to school for business and culinary, and I want to open my own bakery, and I want to sell desserts for parties and So, I have a question. Do you think masks will become more trendy and a staple in people's outfits as we enter the school year?
I think it should be becoming a trend, should be trendy, and masks are being made to fit people's outfits, but I don't think a lot of kids are gonna like it because they're not seeing the people that they look up to, influencers wearing them. They're seeing them go to parties and just not wearing a mask, which is causing more spread of COVID. So I think that it should be able to be trendy, but it's not right now because a lot of people are just ignoring what the government's recommending, and that it's important for everyone to wear a mask. So if you're not, you need to start.
That's a good point.
This is Ellie from Teen Inc. And well, folks, it's been really fun recording this podcast for you, but this is the end. Keep an ear out during the school year for another one, though.
Bye.